All right, so let's create a couple of elements that we're going to need throughout the design, the diagram process. So first one we're going to create is an arrow. So we're just going to go up here, model in place, go to generic models, put this out as arrow, and we'll start drawing. Go to level 1. Just do extrusion. Lines are fine. How big you make this is, I don't know. I mean, 3 or 8 feet looks pretty good. And I'm going to grab this stuff, or actually grab that right there, and I'm going to mirror it. And then using the trim command, I can get that down. Okay, so that looks like a pretty good arrow. Yes, 1 foot. Let's take a look at that in 3D view. That actually looks great. You'll want to assign it the material. I think I'm going to add or use the diagram color. This will be something that I want to draw attention. So you can pick kind of what it lands on. So if like I'm trying to show an entry, I might do that. If I need it floating in space, let's finish that. So to move it, really all you need to do is, you can do that right there. And it's now floating kind of in space. You always bring it back. Other things that you can do with this is let's just copy it. Let's see what actually I want to see what happens if I do this. Okay, so that works out pretty well. Other things I can do is if I'm trying to move, I mean, let's say I'm doing some kind of morphology, like I really want to talk about how this element maybe, I know this isn't an element you can mess with, but say I was putting a big void in that, so I might want, or pushing something up. What I can do is I can, we'll see. We'll see if I can do what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to pick a new face that this attaches to. And see now I've got an element that's pushing down or going to start to move and that kind of thing. So this can be a really great addition to kind of elements that you might need. Specifically if you're trying to, like, say, talk about an entry, or in maybe it's a connection between outside and inside. Okay, another element that I think would be a good one to have, might be. So let's also talk about, I mean, let's say we were creating a circulation diagram. So we'll just kind of imagine a couple of things happening. Okay, so we have something along these lines, and we're trying to dictate that or demonstrate kind of a couple of elements. So let's finish this. In fact, we will go back to this and move this bit. Okay. Just wanted that arrow to show up. So let's just kind of imagine that we have it's kind of big. All right. So we have an entry here, maybe, and I don't know. Maybe there's an entry over here. Trying to duplicate those things. You're trying to show kind of how you see, people approaching. So this is, pretty simple, right? So we're just going to model in place. Generic model. We call this circulation. And you start to, I think, what you want to do is really start to model how you see the flow, and the fact that the flow might kind of get thin and thick, right? Depending on, what you're trying to, I mean, what you're trying to achieve. So let's just imagine that, at the beginning, there are a lot of kind of ways of going, but then it gets tighter. And then it gets, so, as you're modeling, you can start to really demonstrate kind of how you see things working. Now, at the moment, I would say that I've gotten a little bit crazy. And I want to tighten this up a bit. Just clean it up, just make it so not so, I would say pinchy, and not pinchy as in this, pinchy as in like when that curve's not very nice. So it's kind of adjusting these to really let it flow. Is a good way of going. So you do need to always close these extrusions or it won't work. Let's say some things right here. Make sure that kind of feels even. And I can like there, done. And in this case, maybe there is a couple of colors that I need to start to show. With diagrams, you don't want to show too many colors. So, I mean, you might have just a couple of things. I mean, circulation paths, maybe it's an ingoing, outgoing, so you might need two colors there. But you can see this starts to become a really good way of helping us understand your various paths. Now I could also have kind of had a path around this going this way. So, but that is just a few elements. I think the other one that you might want to create, obviously the circulation, that's going to be kind of whatever you dictate. So, but I wanted to demonstrate that the fact that you don't just do circulation is not a simple path, is actually a variable path. And it might, like I showed, get thicker as you're kind of looking at larger areas that you can circulate through versus thinner, like more corridor-like or tighter moments. So just you want to start define it like that. Okay, so let's just go. That should be called something else. Go to the facade and let's just start talking about like maybe making a sun. So we'll just do something pretty simple. Again, we're going to use the component involved in place. Atomic model is fine. In this case, we'll call it a sun. We will set this. This will be, we haven't done this at the beginning yet, but we're going to pick a plane, pick a vertical plane, depending on which, face we wanted it to be on. It could have been this one. We picked that one. And then I'm going to do a simple extrusion. So I'm going to start with just this, and let's just see what that looks like. Doesn't look great, but we're going to apply maybe a color onto it and see if it helps. So I'm going to model material, do this, copy assets. Oh, did I copy shared assets? I'll change that. Here, I want that one. Roll this out as yellow. Change this color to something in the yellow-orange spectrum. It didn't change colors here. I don't like the fact that now I have to just kind of throw in that bit just to make an update there. And then I can start to kind of maybe place this, wherever I'm needing it to start to show how I'm thinking about the sun. So maybe one thing that I would add to this would be to do another extrusion. Maybe starts to point the light in a certain direction. So when the trim command becomes pretty essential. So you're going to have multiple pieces in this. And in fact, I might just suggest this. Okay. So there you go. You can start to see kind of how you would be able to use this. And if we're changing, if I'm trying to look at it from the western side, then all I'd have to do is pick a new face and see where that ended up. selection box. Okay, so there you go. Pretty simple.